Hello dear students, welcome back to the NCERT class of 9th standard. Dear students, we are studying the second topic, that is matter around us is matter around us pure, that we are studying. Dear students, in this topic we have studied in yesterday class, that is about the mixture, types of mixtures. Then after this one, dear students, we have studied, that is we have started the solutions, where we have studied, that is a solution is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. That is a solution is a homogeneous mixture of solute and solvent. Then that one question may arise here, what is meant by solute and solvent? See, solute is a substance which is present in very less quantity and gets dissolved in the solvent. Suppose for example, sugar that will dissolve in the water. It means sugar is a solute which is present in very less quantity compared to the water. That sugar is a solute that will get dissolved in a solvent, that is solvent is a water. It means solvent is a substance which is present in large quantity and dissolves the solute in the solution, isn't it? The solute is a substance which is present in less quantity and gets dissolved, and the solvent is a substance which dissolves the solute and present in the large quantity. Dear students, one more common understanding, common thing, that is the solute always present in the solid form and solvent that is present in the liquid one. That is, it is a common that thing we are saying, but there is no any restrictions. See, solute may be solid, solute may be liquid, solute may be gas, solvent may be solid, solvent may be liquid, solvent may be gas. Dear students, yesterday we have studied one example, that is alloys. Alloys are the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals. See, the first two metals, they will melt in their molten state and they will mix. Then they will form a homogeneous mixture of two or more metals. That is like that the metals are solid, that metals are present in the solid forms, that is solute may be solid, solute may be liquid, or solute may be gas. Like that we can add the solute and solvents. Next, dear students, here I have given that examples for the solutions. Here see, solute plus solvent, that will give solution. Here see, dear students, sugar is a solute that is present in the solid form. Water is a solvent present in the liquid form and they forms sugar solution. The next, iodine is a solid substance that will get dissolved in alcohol that is present in the liquid form, then it forms the tincture of iodine. The next, carbon dioxide, which is a gaseous form. See, solute is a gaseous form, carbon dioxide is a gas. Carbon dioxide is present in the gaseous form that will get dissolved in water. Yes, it is possible. That is soda water that we are drinking. That is, water is a liquid, present in the liquid state. Here carbon dioxide is a gaseous state that will get mixed with the water and next forms the soda water. Next, come to the oxygen is present in the gaseous form in the atmosphere. Nitrogen is also present in the atmosphere with 78%, and here the oxygen is present in 21%. Oxygen gets mixed with the nitrogen and forms the air. See, solute may be solid, liquid or gas. You can add the different two oils. Yes, alcohol, water in the alcohol, etc. Means solute may be solid, liquid or gas. Solvent may be solid, liquid or gas. We will get the solution. Next, dear students, the very important concept as point of examination view, that is property of solution. See, first one, the solution is a homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous that we have studied. That is, the constituents are unable to separate and they are unable to identify. That is homogeneous mixture. The solution is a homogeneous mixture. Next property, that is the particle size of the solution are very smaller, that is unable to see through naked eyes. That is so smaller than that, see, 1 nanometer, more than that, means very smaller than that of the 1 nanometer, very smaller. The solute particles are very smaller, that is unable to see through naked eyes. Suppose take a beaker, take water and dissolve the sugar. Is it possible to identify the sugar particles in the solution of sugar solution? See, is it possible to identify? No. That is, the particles of solutes or the solvents or the solutions are very smaller than the 1 nanometer, that is unable to see through the naked eyes. Next, come to the next point. It will not scatter a beam of light. See, yesterday we have studied that is Tyndall effect. That is, see, when take a solution, pass a beam of light. See, the beam of light, when it passes through a solution, that is not visible. See, one more example I will give you here. You might have saw that holes at the roof. Holes at the roof. When the sun rays are coming from that roof, when sun rays are coming from that roof, that ray will be visible if the dust particle or the smoke particles are present in that way of that radiations or the sun rays. It means when dust particles are move into the rays of the sun or the sun rays, then what happens? The sun rays will be visible. It means when the particles like dust particles come in the way of light or the rays, that will be scattered. That's why the ray will be visible. That is called as a Tyndall effect. Here also, by taking a solution in a beaker, if we pass a torch or a radiations through the solutions, here we have taken the solution, the ray will be not visible because that will not scatter the beam of light. That will not scatter the beam of light. It means the ray will be passes out, then the path of the ray will not be visible. That's why we can say that it will not scatter the beam of light. The next, particles cannot be separated by filtration. See, solute particles are the, whatever the particles are present in the solution, you can't separate it by filtration method. See what happens? Take a filter paper, put in a funnel, then add the solution. Is it possible to separate the solute particles in the filter paper? No. Whatever the sugar particles or the salt particles that we have dissolved, that will be passes out through this filter paper. It means they are very minute, that passes through the holes of the filter papers, isn't it? That will be, see, the particles cannot be separated by filtration. If we take the soil in a water, that we can separate by the filtration method. Soil particles can be separated. Or yesterday we have taken the chalk powder we can separate by filtration. Means chalk powder, if it dissolves in water and we have filtered with a filter paper, then we can separate the chalk powder. The next come to the next property, that is solute particles in a solution will not be settled at the bottom when we keep it undisturbed for few minutes or few hours or few days. If we dissolve the sugar or salt in a water and if we kept it in a undisturbed places, the solute particles that will not settle. But if we add the soil particles or fine soil particles in a water and stir it well, and next if we kept it for the undisturbed place, then what happens? The soil particles will be settled at the bottom. But here the solute particles in the solution will not settle at the bottom. Next come to the next point, that is concentration of solution. See, concentration of solution. You might have heard about the concentration of solution. See, in the laboratory when you enter and when you see the chemical bottles like acids and bases, you might have saw that concentrated hydrochloric acid, dilute sulfuric acid, like that. You might have saw. Then, dear students, concentration means here the amount of solute, amount of sugar in a water, in a solution or in a solvent. That is called as the concentration. That is amount of solute. If we add more amount of solute, then the solution is concentrated. If we add less amount of solute, then the solution may be dilute. Means we can say that concentration of a solution is defined as the amount of solute present in a solution or the amount of solute, solvent or solution, isn't it? Again, once again I will define here, listen here. That is, concentration of solution is defined as amount of solute to the amount of solvent or solution, or the amount of solute present in a amount of solvent. Then the dilute solution, that is, if the amount of solute is less in quantity in the solvent or less than the solvent, then the solution is called as the dilute solution. If the amount of solute is more, in the solvent, then we can say that the solution is concentrated. The next come to the next most important concept of the solution. See, saturated solution. See, here we will discuss one activity. Take a beaker, large size beaker, take 100 ml or 50 ml of water. Suppose take 100 ml of water. Take a beaker. See, we have taken a beaker here. We have taken 100 ml of water or 50 ml. Suppose take easily with it. That will be easy. That is 50 ml of water. First add 10 gram of sugar and stir it with a glass rod. Add 10 gram of sugar, stir it well with a glass rod. Is it possible to dissolve the sugar or not? Yes, we can dissolve the 10 gram of sugar very easily. Then again further add 10 gram of sugar. When the sugar is dissolved, completely, 10 gram of sugar dissolved completely, again add 10 gram of sugar. Then stir it well. Is it possible to dissolve or not? Yes, the sugar will also dissolve. Again further sugar will dissolve. Then when the second 10 gram sugar dissolves, add again further 10 gram of sugar. Again 10 gram of sugar. Is it possible to dissolve? Yes, it is possible to dissolve. Again further add, when it dissolves, again add 10 gram of sugar. Then the solute, whatever the water that present in the beaker, that will not dissolve the sugar. It means its capacity is over. Capacity is completed to dissolve the further amount of solute that we have added. That capacity at a given temperature, at a room temperature, at a given temperature, the capacity of a solvent at a given temperature is over to dissolve or is complete to dissolve the solute particle. That capacity of a solvent is called as the saturated solution, or the solution that is called as the saturated solution. Once again I will explain here the saturated solution, the solution in which the capacity of a solvent is complete to dissolve the further solute. That capacity is called as the saturated solution, isn't it? Next, unsaturated means, suppose for example we have added the 10 gram only, then again 20 gram its capacity remains to dissolve the solute. That capacity that such solutions are called as the unsaturated. Still its capacity to dissolve the solute remains. Such solutions are called as the unsaturated solutions. Next, dear students, solubility. That is the capacity of a solution or a solvent to dissolve the solute is called as the solubility of. That's all about the today's class. Then next we will study in the next class. Thank you.